Hello, friends.
Hey, mamas.
Welcome to My Invisible Disease podcast. We are here to share our struggles and hacks as two moms living with chronic illness.
Tune in and join our community as we share stories and experiences while we sort through the ups and downs of living with invisible disease.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Your hair's looking extra fluffy today.
It super is. You know what? I did the shower yesterday. I let it all get all poof. And then I just curled the front few pieces because I was like, no one's going to see the back of my head.
Thank God no one can see the back of our head because my hair is, well, this is all extensions.
It looks cute. I don't often see you in ponies.
Yeah, I've lost so much hair that I can't even have a pony without putting extensions in because it looks like a rat tail.
Oh,
it's actually so sad.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not like used to dealing with thinner hair or like, you know, you've always had just wicked voluminous hair, so it would be a change.
I have always had great hair, and now I have shitty hair. I have shitty, brittle, lackluster hair. However, check out all this new growth.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is all caused from the prednisone that you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I was on such high dose steroids, I don't know what happened. I lost so much hair. Like I was losing like, not like clumps, but like when I would shower, like so much was coming out. So we upped my folic acid, went on biotin, and now I'm down significantly in the prednisone. So now it's slowly starting to come back.
Well,
so
I had regrowth.
Yeah. I had to dye my beautiful blonde hair dark because it was just time for a change.
Well, and you don't want to risk having to like keep up with dyeing your hair if you're like already in a position where like you need to add as much health as possible.
I know.
Oh, girl. Yeah, it's amazing how those little things that are like the physical appearance stuff or like just like you've always identified as having great hair, like how that we grieve those losses when dealing with shit. Like
I know
it's a loss. I mean, it's temporary.
I did have great hair. It was like
you will have great hair again.
I will have great hair again.
Yeah,
come back, great hair.
Yeah, it's growing.
But I can walk.
Yes, that's true. Trade great hair for be able to walk again.
Yay!
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Not so bad. I mean, I did mention I am here this morning, but I don't know if I had food poisoning or what. Probably the or what. We traveled this weekend for kids hockey, which was great. But as I'm sure so many people can relate that have chronic illness, driving long distances, like it is almost like my worst nemesis. And as I say this, you know, this was a couple days ago, but I had my first like full, this is probably TMI, my first shit of shame, I'll say. Like after driving, we were on our way from Edmonton to Fruitvale, like our back home, and it was like a 12-hour drive in the car. And because I have so much stuff in my abdomen with my disease, like all the cysts, and it truly like shoves pieces where they're not supposed to go or compresses different areas. Like I literally, you know, we had to pull over and I was like in full sweats, like the crap, it was just like the worst scenario of just being able to like, if you don't stop now, like you don't even want to know what's going to happen. And so I've kind of mentally prepared that was a long trip. Like that was like a 12-hour drive broken up. But the one we did this weekend was about 6.5. And I mentally prepare myself that like, that could be a worst case scenario or something along those lines. Like my chronic pain kicks up, you know, there's all those pieces to it. And so I had 2 days of recovery. And then last night, you know, I taught yoga. I was feeling great. It was fine. I was relaxed when I came home. I went to bed early and then was just up in the middle of the night. So I don't know if it's just a byproduct of traveling or potentially food poisoning. So either way, my throat is like swollen from throwing up and my guts are raw. But, you know, that's just, it's worth it. It was worth it to travel with my kids and it was worth it to, you know, watch the hockey and them with their team and it's worth it. It's just
totally.
just maybe someone else doesn't have to think about it that way.
Right.
So, yeah. But other than that, things are good. I kind of gave an update on Instagram. I am yellow lighted on hold for live liver transplant right now. They're just looking for more information. So I'm still like officially listed on the liver transplant list for if I was to get a cadaver liver, which we're looking at years out probably from that type of situation. But I just had I had an MRI with contrast beginning of January. I'm waiting to see if that's enough. Otherwise, I'm going back for a CT with contrast just to give them more information to be 100% comfortable that my anatomy will allow for a live donor's transplant.
What's their concern at this point?
Well, I mean, they had approved it originally, but there's a team of surgeons that work at the hospital where I'm registered. And, one of them just brought up a concern that they just didn't have enough information to say that they were confident that it would work. My anatomy, like I have cysts everywhere. So it literally like pushes things when they're not supposed to go. With a cadaver liver, you're getting a full liver, but with a live liver donor, you're getting a piece of a liver. So it's a smaller piece. And I think it's more in my head. This is what I imagine. I don't know if this is actually what the concern is, but I imagine it that like with a smaller piece of a liver, like will the connections fit kind of thing, if that makes sense. Like will the valves that need to be on there, will that fit up with where my anatomy is at this point? Because it's not getting better. I mean, it's progressive. My liver's growing, so I think that it's just making sure that everything will work once they get me on the table. So, I'd rather it be a yes, like an all round yes, than get on the table and figure out, this isn't going to work. And then I die. So.
I think at some point we're going to have to do like a bit of a spotlight on like what it looks like to go through this process, or if you wanted to like try out to be Jenny's new liver, if you want to apply. No, but
and I'm happy to share every step of the way for those that maybe are waiting for a live liver and that are going through the process, because you guys can be there on the bed with me, and I'm an open book. So
open stomach.
But
the thing is, though, is we've actually had so many people reach out to us that want to share their stories with us in the podcast. That you're going to get bumped. Like, we don't have time for this right now.
It's true.
We'll record it, but it's been so exciting. We've had some really great guests come forward, and they want to share their stories with us. So, that's
and I think
exciting.
that's really, I think, why we're doing this is like both you and I identified that like when stuff went down with us, that it wasn't something that everybody was talking about, or that when we did find out other people were experiencing it, they were experiencing it by themselves behind closed doors. And, it's a really interesting thing to hear. I mean, like, and people like some of the guests that we're having on the show, like completely different diagnosis, but there's such common threads that kind of weave in all of our lives. And I'm really excited. I think sharing stories and, being able to relate is so powerful. And honestly, like it really is just almost like a bit of community, I think, for us to meet other people that are also, going through health, chronic illness, invisible disease.
Well, and the advocation as well. Like we just got off that podcast with Amber Minty, and she's keynote speaking because she's doing some awesome things with advocating for people.
Changing laws. Like amazing. Like,
what? Yeah. Why don't you want to talk to us? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I'm pretty pumped for us.
Yeah. And I think it'll be, just a neat way for other people to connect. And, we're looking forward to sharing these stories and to be a resource. And, for anyone that does have a story themselves, reach out. We're interested in being here for you and helping your story, sharing it for that exact reason, like that, to advocate for other people. I have really, I've shared this before, but some of the Facebook groups I'm on or other communities, they have actually led me to not so much diagnosis, but treatment options that I didn't know were available through my medical professionals. And I think
Totally.
There's so many ways that when you're connecting with other people that are going through similar situations, that their hacks, their tricks, their tips, but also their experience is invaluable.
Totally. Who knew that Botox could be used for so many different things?
I know. It's like, I could use a little right now.
Right?
Not a priority. Yeah.
Our Bobo girl listens to our podcast though.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, she'll understand it. She's a nurse. So yeah.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
got the background to actually, some of the diagnoses.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. I'm like, what does that mean? So she'll be a step up.
Yeah. Some of the words that have come out, I'm just like, I don't even know how to spell them. I went to write it down and I was like, I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Well, and for yourself too, like, how are things going with you? I know, like, how are the kids? Let's hear about kind of where you're at with things.
The children are fantastic as per usual.
I've been watching some of your hockey videos online.
Oh my God. I am so proud of Rixton. He's been working so hard. He's turned into like a bro. So like he wants to play sports and play hockey. And like, he's just like really into it right now. So it's super cute. But I'm feeling good. Like I just finished 2 days of IV treatment. So I'm full of antibodies and feeling good. But for the most part, we're still in the unknowns. I just had my PET scan last week and my muscles are looking really good, which is great. So in the PET scan, they inject the nuclear sugar stuff into your vein. The stuff
that comes in the lead box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There was no lead box this time though.
Oh, interesting.
He just came out with the tube and was like, here, let me hook you up. It was a boy. It was really weird. It was very strange for me. Both of the men that were working with me were men. Both of the men were men.
Yeah.
They actually kind of look like teenage boys, to be honest, but I can't tell how old people
now
are.
That I'm getting older, like how young healthcare workers are, like, which is amazing that people are like still getting into the after COVID. But I'm like, these are children treating me. Yay,
I know.
But kind of also scary. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's true though. Like, and he was wearing a mask, so I couldn't see his full face, but I'm pretty sure that he was like maybe 25.
Yeah.
And anyways. So I'm way older than that, apparently. So the PET scan showed that the muscles were doing well. They were healing. The myositis had like cleared up. But my spot on my lung was glowing. And my pulmonary specialist, I don't need to say her name. She said, when I was getting off the phone, she said, I'm sorry for the bad news. So I was like, oh, okay. But I do need to get another lung biopsy. So that's going under and getting that all done. Last time wasn't so bad, so I'm trying not to like get myself worked up for it. But
I hate to say it, but it's probably better than the thigh one again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We pick our battles here. We pick our battles.
Leave my poor legs alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to go for the biopsy. I am a little worried because she said, it's collecting a lot of glucose. And this could once again lean towards lymphoma, which they have eliminated 3 times, but we just keep circling back to that. So I don't like to put things into the universe, but it just kind of keeps circling around. So that worries me.
Well, but it's been since June. You've been looking for a diagnosis, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, like 8 months now. If I like to think of it as if nothing's been concrete yet on a situation like that, like, let's not put labels to it if the doctors haven't been able to figure it out so far.
Yeah.
Because it is just, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. So
I know. I just wish they'd stop using that one word. Like,
I know.
Stop it.
Stop. Well, and on that note too, because it's mindset, you know, like I'm so proud of you just for, I mean, part of it is like the mumming, and you got to keep mumming no matter what. And, you know, no one's there to pick up all the pieces and let you lay in bed all day or anything like that. So it's
right.
But it's mindset, you know, it's choosing to, like, for now, like, keep going and keep positive mindset. And I think you do such a good job of that. Because not everyone does or can, you know, through.
I have no hair left, but at least I can walk.
Your hair looks cute, little pony, but at least you can walk, right? So, you know, I think it just is so much the idea of being able to put one foot in front of the other, and, you know, because it's the thick of it. And also, like, there's so many people that are also, like, in the same boat. And, you know, it's crazy to think about. It's just like how disruptive stuff can be in our lives. And, you know, and I think you've kind of, like, you're going for the IV, which has cut down, which it was 2 days rather than 4, right?
Yes.
So, you know, 8 hours rather than 16.
Yeah. It's nice to have a little bit of my time back.
Oh my God. That's like 8 hours a week back of IV treatment. Like, that's amazing. Yeah. Cause but you've been able to, been handling that so well.
Yeah.
Or wait, 8 hours a week. Is it a week or a month?
A month.
A month. Okay. I just don't want to people.
I mean, it sounds super dramatic. No.
Yeah. Well, but it, you know, it is. It's a life. It's a Krinken lifestyle, right? And that sometimes those are the hardest things to give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I've been on a kick of, like, I'm like, okay, I've been visualizing, like, I'm going to start lifting weights and doing all this stuff. And then I'm like stuck in the bathroom last night. Like, I'm like, I have no energy. Like, you know, sometimes life, it just doesn't always agree with what we want.
I am forever fighting with Mackenzie these days because, how much I love that girl is silly, but, like, please spend the entire night in your bed. Why do you need to come to my bed at 3-4 o'clock in the morning? And then her cute little snuggles keep me awake because she's breathing on me and kicking me in the face,
digging the toes into your side.
So we've been trying to keep her in her bed. She told me that her car seat is too tight because she wears these, like, ball gowns, right? Like, these all shirts are turned into dresses.
Yeah.
And it's too tight for her. So she needs a booster seat, not a car seat.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Mackenzie, once you get 5 nights of not coming out of your bed, you will be big enough to get this new booster seat. So she's got 2 check marks, which means 2 successful evenings, but, like, 5 X's. And Brixton is very on top of keeping track of her progress.
Oh,
like,
of course
he's
he
invested. This morning, he's like, so, Mom, how'd she do? He's like,
it's like
you'll see where she comes home from. Yeah.
Allie keeps tabs on everything Connor does. She's like, the firstborn, the, you know, perfectionist. She likes to monitor the progress. And like, Connor has all his stuff. He's on his bed and his clothes are on the floor. Like, yeah. What do you want me to do about it? Yeah. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm like, thanks for the update. Like, your clothes are on your floor too. Like, what?
Totally. You feeds everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. Actually, she cleaned her room and has been doing a good job. I think she's, like, breaching that tween now. So she's showering. She's taking care of her hygiene. She's a lot more interested in keeping her space clean. Like, thank God. But the attitude, I mean, which I'm like, oh my God, Mackenzie will get there and you are going to be like, ooh.
Pray for me.
She is a strong-willed, spirited child. Sweet as a pea. And that's like Allie, like, you know, great. Yeah. But, like, when hormones kick in, my goodness, I would say, like, that's a bigger battle right now than any of my health issues. So, yeah.
You know what? My mom will be happy to hear when she's listening to this that I appreciate her because I know how easy I was on her. Not. And now that I'm also raising one hell of a woman, like,
I mean, and I keep reminding myself this spirited, like, child, like heavy willed, it's going to be so good when she's an adult. She's going to say no. She's going to be able to like, she's not going to depend on what other people's opinions are. But I'm like, in the meantime, I'm getting the brunt of it all.
If somebody upsets Mackenzie and she doesn't like the way she's being treated, she'll say, if you do this, I'm going to give you a knuckle sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
She offers them all day, every day. Like, all she wants to do is punch someone in the face. And it's actually kind of funny because I don't know where she gets it from. Like, what show on YouTube or whatever is she listening to that she just says she's going to punch you in the face?
I don't know. They're having a lot of like the reviving old shows that are coming up on the different like streaming networks. So like my kids are going back and watching shows that I watched, and now I'm realizing knuckle sandwich isn't bad, but like how inappropriate some of this stuff is. And I'm like, ooh. But then again, we grew up with it and are fine, I think.
Yeah, totally.
But, yeah.
Okay, I have one funny story for you talking about what our kids are watching. So we're at this birthday party, and all of the kids, they do this thing I've noticed, and they'll be like, raise your hand if you like peanut butter and jam sandwiches. And then everyone raises their hand. Raise your hands if you love the Oilers. And then they all raise their hands. So some of the parents are like over here talking and like not really paying attention, but like half paying attention.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden one of the kids, he goes, raise your hand if, and then he kind of like pauses. And he goes, raise your hand if your dad, and his dad's there and looks over at me like, where's this going?
What's going? Yeah.
He goes, raise your hand if your dad knows somebody who's had sex.
And how old are they again?
Yeah. 6.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? And then like burst out laughing. I have tears streaming down my face at this point. And the mom that's like handing out the birthday cake, she's like, sorry, what did you say? And the dad looks at me, he's like, he said 6, right? I was like, yeah, no, buddy. He did not say 6. So then he repeats himself, and all of the kids, because they're 6, don't understand what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're dying. Like, I like had no makeup left. Like, everything had like streamed down my face. And he's like, I'm going to be in so much trouble because he had let his kids watch The Simpsons.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We were talking about it not long before that. And I was like, yeah, like, it's really funny. Like, they don't understand what they're watching, but it doesn't mean that they won't repeat it. Like,
and it doesn't mean that they don't kind of absorb some of it. Yeah.
They have no idea.
I know my kids, we had to get rid of Disney Plus because they were watching, like Allie, I swear, watched every episode of The Simpsons.
Oh,
and
no.
Like, we don't have Disney Plus just to watch The Simpsons. But anyway, sorry, I had to, they've watched them all. Go ahead.
Well, you better watch what they're surveying at birthday parties because it's going to get awkward.
Yeah. Well, and just, I mean, like 100%. It's so funny how like language has changed and different things like that. And then, but like how some of it, man, oh man, is inappropriate for at least that age group, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's the other thing, because Allie was watching it. So was Connor. So Allie was probably 10. So Connor would have been 8, but like, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Not 6, but yeah, sex.
It was so funny. Like, I actually like could not control myself. Like, I was laughing so hard. And then you worry that when you like feed the energy of it,
but I was now he's going to say it all the time.
I was far enough away that like, I hope that.
And he's not your kid. So if you giggle and he had to laugh and he does it again, it's okay because it's not your kid.
Oh, yeah. I was laughing.
Give his parents a hard time by feeding the energy. Just kidding.
Totally.
But, yeah, that would have been hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Funny stories. Yeah, well, I mean, like, not funny story, but something interesting. I mean, totally random, but that happened when we were in Kamloops for the hockey tournament this weekend. It was about 11 p.m. and the hotel's fire alarm went off.
Oh, no.
Everyone had to evacuate the hotel. I don't know. That was my most recent story.
Were you clothed or were you like in a house coat?
Yes, we were. Some of the teams there, like cause the Wildcats, which is our like female league team, we had a U13, U15, and U18 team there. And some of the girls, they had to be up at 4:45 a.m., which is something we had to do on Sunday. And it's like why. But so they were all in bed. Girls on our team, there was one of them that was like in the shower. So like these are like young like kids, but I know it's late, but just we had late games and dinner, and so like people were either sleeping or like occupied. It was people were out there in like pajamas. There was people out there without shoes on, and this is Canadian wind. I mean, Kamloops was probably, I don't know, maybe -6 degrees Celsius, maybe -7. It was cold, and people were out there without shoes on. And of course, it's full of for hockey tournaments, so it's like there's insane amount of kids that are staying in this hotel. But yeah, that was our interesting thing this
false
week.
alarm.
False alarm. Well, and Allie had like a bit of a panic attack after, which was a bit stressful. She just didn't trust going to bed and it being safe. I totally get it. If I was on the 15th floor of a hotel and the fire alarm had gone off, I don't know how safe I would feel going back to bed after like a half hour of being outside without seeing any fire trucks. So we had that. That was an interesting piece to it. And then a few cars got broken into. So the girls all came home with these like big stories about like the fire alarm at the hotel, and there was like criminals outside breaking into cars. It's it's good stories for them to tell their friends. Yeah.
Completely worth the 6 hours of traveling and discomfort for you. All the memories that were made.
All the memories made. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Right. Well, I guess, just a note for our listeners too, we're excited to share with you these interviews coming up, and we hope that, you are able to relate and find some common thread with some of the guests that we're going to have on. We're excited to share.
I'm so excited. We have another interview coming up in like 5 minutes, and I'm in the middle of a negotiation, so I have to send off a document.
Yeah, do it. Get that sale. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Hey mamas, we see you. And we want you to join our Facebook community where we can connect and continue the conversation.
Join our private Facebook group at My Invisible Disease, because no one should go through this alone.
Thank you for listening, and check us out at myinvisibledisease.com.